bodily secretions. And this is how they was able to extrapolate what adrenochrome would do in a Babylonian ritual blood magic ceremonies. Um, the thing now is they want to destroy your glands to interfere with your ascension process. So even if they don't take them, they want to destroy them, congest your organs, your filters, so that they can back up the gland and deprive the gland of key nutrition. Look, people keep asking the same question about work and bills and stuff. I can only tell you what I did. Fuck a job, fuck a bill. That's all I can tell you. The way that I position myself is where those things don't affect my reality anymore. When you learn how to position yourself, you're gonna know what to do. You ain't gonna need to ask the question. If you asking the question, that's because you have been properly prepared in order to sever yourself from a contract. You have to prepare yourself, or you got to be willing to endure the struggle of not being able to pay their bills, and they remove services temporarily until we back in the driver's seat. You gonna pay that shit, or you gonna let that shit get cut off, or you gonna position yourself where they pay it for you. However you do it, the one thing that's gonna be consistent and constant is when the flip happens, you ain't gonna have that shit no more. But until the flip happen, I can't really tell you a viable solution to your bills and your rent because um you have to prepare those things. Most people not prepared. And that's why we ain't bugging out that more people aren't leaving their jobs. But if we can get them motherfuckers, look up the big quick, you will see that there's people all over the country and around the world that's leaving their jobs in order to collapse the system so that we can come up. But somebody gonna have to struggle. I've been doing it for 3 years, so I know that somebody else can do it for a couple of months, right? So um those are the things that we face with and the reality that we have to endure in order to get to better days. You're gonna have to go through a struggle somewhere. Everybody want this shit to be an easy ass motherfucking shit. It's not easy. It's not easy. They messing with my video. It's a sister says she wanted to talk about the RH factor. I can't, I don't see her I don't see where it went. Okay. So yeah, sis was spitting that motherfucking fire. She telling you what I told you was saying in that video, desecration of the holy places. And the holy places is both on the ground of the earth and the one on the woman body, her uterus and mammary glands. Somebody put a magnesium. So magnesium, you can't use none of your trace minerals without uh magnesium. Magnesium is the facilitator for all of the trace minerals, the same way vitamin C is for all of the vitamins. Right. So they become critical. Oh man, the male child birth, that's a whole to really give people a good understanding of how difficult it is for a male to be born on earth. I would need a dry erase board and a dry erase marker because I would have to show you layers of information at the same time, and then I have to show you the math that's involved because it's to all of the males is like anomalies on Earth. We like phenomena that doesn't make sense based on what we have to go through to come into this life. So I'll go back over that when I get to a dry erase board where we talk about the birthing of a god. That's actually part of the doula training, because the women have to understand, and the men by that, about when they having a child, how to optimize the brain function and bodily function of the child by programming the child with the parent's mind. The mind of the parent can program the genetics of the child as to what to do. We don't know this because we think that all this shit is just some mix the vinegar and baking soda and wait for the reaction. Yeah. So let me look at these questions one more time. Mm. Uh, there's people who's been posting Lionsgate rituals. They already know what to do, so you could just look them up on social media sites. They've been talking about them. Trump is the big joker in the Galactic Spade game. Uh, all of those strains was different CIA, MI5, KGB, secret intelligence codes flipped in the public domain to capture a news story and to utilize it to exchange massive amounts of information under that cloak. I already explained how they add your calories burned per hour, like they measure gas to know how much you earn on a job. If you didn't catch the whole thing, just go back and watch the whole video. This is some bullshit. Yeah, so true. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna be back at y'all when I can. I've been doing physical labor, so I haven't been able to get on social media because I got packing my library up and trying to help my brother do some work around the house to get his house in order before I make the next move. But probably Monday, I'm gonna see if I can do the video with brother Benji and see if he can't get one of the Vice Lord elites to let him know that we doing this shit from a different angle, but we working for the same goal. And he ain't supposed to listen to me because I'm not his elder directly. I'm what you call a proxy elder from across the tracks. So I got to go talk to somebody in his family tree, in his clan. And once I talk to somebody in his clan that's of significance, then they will have to come and talk to him with me in order for me and him to resolve whatever matter or confusion there is there. So you can see how we resolve matters from the land, by the people from the land, while they own the land, and they don't see eye to eye on the matter. But Big Mama showed me what she was having him do and why she needed it done this way. So now I have to go back and then tie these loose ends up, and that should be the what you call the coup de grace, the grand finale. Cause we already at Big Mama house. We just trying to unlock the motherfucking front door without tearing up nothing going in there. Cause we got much respect for Big Mama house. And Big Mama house is the Vice Lord house. And the Vice Lord house is black and gold, and that's the gold and the coal. And the coal is the carbon, and the gold is the um, is the platinum group metal, and I am the platinum back gorilla. So when we put this shit together, we'll be able to show y'all that um, we can find a way. If we work together, we could find a way to overcome this bullshit as a collective. But as long as we bickering back and forth, all we gonna be doing is giving the show to the motherfuckers and enemy that's laughing at us. So I don't want to get them motherfuckers no show. And that's why I'm willing to talk to the Canaan land Moors, cause I be iffy about Moors um if they not Taj, if they not C. Freeman Hill, Hakeem Bey, Charles Mosley Bey, I be iffy about them because of the dirty Moors. But I'm not anti-Moor, but I am anti-dirty Moor. And all of the Moors know that there are dirty Moors. That's not a secret, right? And if they know there's dirty Moors, then they shouldn't be offended because I'm not a Moor that I call out the dirty Moors for being some rotten motherfuckers that they are. They just need to clean house. So Angel Bay, that's his job. That's not my job, right? I just have to tell the people where we was infiltrated at, and we was infiltrated by Albert Pike, who portrayed himself as motherfucking George Washington, Adam Weishaupt, in order to deceive the people with morals and dogma at the 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemason level, coming in off of a conquistadors, um, Etruscan Moor in cloak and concealed. And the image that we see is not even the real image of the real individual, whether it's the Adam Weishaupt, the George Washington, or the motherfucking Albert Pike. Those are all imposters that's put out as a cat's paw in order to conceal and cover the dirty players behind the scenes. They use pale faces to block institutions to keep us from finding out what they was doing. And if we can't find out what they doing, we don't know what course of action to take to resolve the matter. But now that we know what they was doing, what they have done, and what they still was trying to do, and we knew how to overcome those obstacles, this shit is a wrap. So you can go to your George Washington Masonic Memorial and you can see the phases of all of the dirty Moors who signed the contracts with Europe, with England, France, and Britain in order to subjugate the organic people from this land. All of their phases is there because they said if they surrender their phases and we surrender our feathers and sandals, that we wouldn't know us from them at the end of the 200 years. We disagreed and we was right. They ain't us and we ain't them. They look like us, but they ain't us. They don't love like us. They don't fight like us. They don't do nothing like us. Everything they do is weaponized against us. So I have to talk to anybody who willing to resolve this ugly ass matter we face with. Even if they come in hostile, I still have to endure the hostility in order to try to draw out a cognizant conversation with them in order to solve the problem. The key order of business right now is Big Mama House. That's that black and gold shit. That shit got to be straightened out, and it's gonna get straightened out Monday, right? So once that gets straightened out Monday, and they find out that the treaty that was signed 50 years ago between Lord Stones and disciples, and that we was all infiltrated by motherfucking dirty players. And now we reclaiming what we got by connecting with the ones that Big Mama seeing. Big Mama make a motherfucker go upside your head in order to get you right. And then she'll make that motherfucker turn around and be so Instagram is starting to give me some shit. So we're gonna wrap this one up, y'all, but from there. All right. Peace out, y'all. Share the video, get the information out to the public. So the show on Young Elder is Tracking the Devil. We're gonna be going over who Enlil is and why they black devils. He had to show himself before he left, and he did, and I'm gonna show it to y'all. These motherfuckers think I don't be knowing what I be talking about, but they don't never confront these motherfucking receipts I be dropping. So, since they don't like to address the receipts, they just like to use a bunch of gossip and rhetoric. Oh, that nigga don't know what he talking about. He lying over there. He throwing dirt on the Moors. No, I'm not. I'm throwing dirt on dirty Moors because they already dirty, motherfuckers. The good Moors know what I'm doing. The dirty Moors is mad. All you got to do is watch them. See, they thought that they was going to challenge us to this game and we was going to lose. We not going to lose because we know who we be. You don't believe me? You can ask DMX. They don't know who we be, but we know who we be. Every time, they don't ever deal with the receipts. I even give them receipts that they can refute, and they so scared of the receipt that they won't even examine it. And that's how you know when you got them motherfuckers with their back against the wall and their dick is in the dirt. The righteous Moors is against the dirty Moors. They know what I'm talking about. They'll tell you look, you can go sit into a Moor science temple, and the good Moors is going to pull you to the side and say, you know, you got to watch out for them dirty Moors. The good Moors going to tell you. And they're going to say, and you got to watch this one because he be doing this, and you got to watch that one because he be doing that. The good Moors is going to put you up on who the dirty Moors is. And here go the kicker. All of the dirty Moors that got positions of power and abused it, you was the dumbest motherfuckers in the world because you don't think that the grand governing body know who you motherfuckers is. All of the good Moors know what I'm talking about. The grand governing body know who them dirty motherfuckers is. Because they got all of the files from all of the people's complaints on file at the motherfucking grand governing body in their records. They know who y'all, they know who did the dirt. They know who sold the Moorish Science Temple out to the United States Corporation. That's why I say you American citizen on your nationality card, but you ain't seen that yet. Yep. So we going to family banks. We getting away from I gotta answer my door. Yep, come on. Get downstairs. What's going on with your nephew?
How you been?
Look good. Yeah, tell him I'll be down there waiting on man too. Excuse me, I had to let my little nephew in. He had to go get his hair cut downstairs where I need to be going next. He looks a little savage. I don't mind looking a little savage. Yeah, so if anybody got any questions, throw them mug in the comment section and I'm gonna try to answer this. Yeah, so we're getting into the family banks so that we can overthrow the central banking system that left all of the families destitute. The central banks ties back to the Federal Reserve and the IRS, and the checks that you give them in the form of taxes goes to your World Bank and International Monetary Fund. The national debt is the money that they owed us that they said we owed them. So the national debt gonna become the national debit to rebuild the infrastructure. So it's all playing out. We just right now we just some observers watching this shit slow ass build and fall, and that's some hard shit. Yeah, ask your question again, sweetie. I didn't see it. I was looking for some questions. Tano Lady L, you can ask your question again. Hey, this like we be having little family reunions in the comment section. We be seeing people we ain't talked to in a minute. Be what's up? What's going on? They continuing this like it's business as usual because we acting like business as usual. The great solar flare, which is supposed to take out the grid, have anything to do with free? Well, everything right now is all consistent. Raven Rock is, thank you, Dr. Ham. Raven Rock is where the continuity of government is taking place under the FEMA protocols. And there is where all of the transfers of power, keys to the wealth, all of this stuff is taking place over there. And they should be about done by now because what I'm seeing play out in the mainstream is like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, a week ago, Trump lawyer presented a case to the Senate about that shit in a minute. If NASA launch failed, those are just messages. So what you do is you look up the name of the failed launch, you look up the code name for it, and translate that shit. Creature from Jekyll Island is when they created the central bank. Yep. All that shit. The Emerald Tablets, we was gonna go over some of that tonight, because Thoth warned us about something called the Dark Brothers, who look like us, but they ain't us. Ain't that something that it's in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth? Somebody look like us, but it ain't us. Look, paperwork is the paper chain. We got to use our oral tradition until we overthrow their system, right? And once we overthrow their system, then we can use our own paperwork. The Black Hand was, I already went over that, but the Black Hand was them niggas that was leading the KKK. Right. Well, I'm not finna break the whole Emerald Tablets down tonight. I'm just gonna show a couple of verses where Tahuti talks about the Dark Brothers and that he got rid of them once, but they let him back in using the conjure. And he's talking about when Enlil called that dragon bitch from the alternate mirrorverse and brought her over here to use her mitochondria to usurp the throne of the matriarchs. Well, we caught on to that shit. So, but anyway, when they conjured them motherfuckers over here, they turned everything upside down and backwards in information. So the information is upside down and backwards on purpose in order to confuse the minds of the people that's watching. Mm-hmm. Crooked man walking on the land. Somebody say it's lightning. Yep. So the central banking system is all created up on a constructed fraud. The Three Kings is in the continuity of government, right? They have to be there to make sure that all of the power is secured before they leave, right? Look, your personal decisions, I set myself up where I don't have no bills. So for me to tell you whether to pay your bills or not, that's on you. Until we in power, we ain't in power. What's the delay in big picture being revealed? Y'all not paying attention? I see y'all. I see y'all. Uh, yeah, so, and when we get in power, it's not going to be no secret. These motherfuckers is in power. They kept their motherfucking shit a secret. They hid in the background and made other people take the fall for them. We don't hide in the background. So when we get in power, it ain't going to be no mistake about it. Yep, they are definitely doing the mortgage thing, offering up those no interest mortgages because they trying to get you to contract. Don't contract with these motherfuckers and watch they shit fall. All of them incentives they giving you is to keep them in power just a little while longer. So no interest loans, low interest, all that's fraud. They tricking you. They tricking us into going in there getting these no interest mortgages, not knowing that if we don't go and support their system and drag this son of a bitch down, that we won't need to get a mortgage.
We already got shit. Yeah, what's up, Sirius Ray? Kino the Peacock. I see you, God. Look, they not gonna allow the rules to the game, first of all, is what we missing. Because if you understand the rules to the game, you understand what's taking so long. We have to be at critical mass of self-awareness. I mean, this is why they be talking about woke, the woke culture. What the fuck is the woke culture? Right? Who is this? What is they pushing this so-called woke agenda? What's that shit? Right? Because what they telling you, and you ain't paying attention, that if it's enough people that's woke, meaning aware, meaning they know who they is, they 5/5 realize they no longer 3/5 compromise, they can't be imbeciles in law, then they don't have any jurisdiction. So they warning everybody about the motherfucking woke culture. The motherfuckers that's waking up is us. The return of the motherfucking ancient ones, the motherfuckers that came back from eons gone by, and we had to sit and watch while this motherfucking shit played out until we seen the time to seize the power. And as they say, seize the time is now. The time is now to seize the power. And the only way we gonna seize it is when the elder women start saying that this shit is over, telling y'all to clan up, tribe up, click up with your family. Fuck these motherfuckers military shit. If you click up with your family, you bring them motherfuckers back from the military back home, because we got issues over here we need to deal with. Yeah, that the legalese is trickery than the motherfucker. It's a system of levies and liens. The levies is the tribe of Levi. The lien is an anagram for Enlil. They've been tricking us the whole time. We just didn't know it. They've been using barristers' lingo to tell you who behind it, because you're not a barrister. You don't know what they're saying. You know? Yep. They got us all locked down with a paper chain. You got to overthrow their system by separating from their contractual layout. Everything is a contract. And until you start separating from them contracts, you are supporting them staying in power, and it's dragging this shit out longer than it need to be, because enough of us ain't left the job yet because we scared, right? We scared of they going to cut off our lights and our gas, and they're going to evict us if we don't pay our rent. Well, it's part of a process. Set yourself up where you don't need to deal with that shit. Shit. Go get a fucking generator. All of that shit got to come back to us anyway, right? Anything that's affect mass numbers of people, like gas, water, and electric, the government, that's the responsibility of government. That's why Noble Drew Ali said that he was going to leave these people in power until we learn how to run the government. Well, I can run the fuck out of government. I don't need none of them motherfuckers. If they just let me put the shit how it's supposed to go, it'll run the way it's supposed to run, and this shit'll be easy. But we ain't supposed to have gas, light, and water bills. That's all of this shit that they was using as tools of oppression. All that shit is to keep you from ever advancing in the society. It's to keep you into an economic stupor, because the pains of poverty is what keeps you from realizing the cause of the poverty. Because if you knew the cause of it, you could change it within a twinkling of an eye. But you don't know the cause of the poverty, that fractional reserve central banking bullshit, and the people that's backing that shit ain't even from here. They just want some gold so they can live, right? So when you want to get rid of the enemy and they want to negotiate, we want their technology, and they can have some gold. Every 3,600 years, we had a quota of gold. That's it. So when they come back, we give them some more gold, and they give us some more tech. But they not staying here. Even the good ones can't stay here. They ain't from here. Get your motherfucking ass off world, because you not one of the earthborn from the spirits of the earth. So you got to go. And some of the people that y'all been down and thinking is the enemy been helping you the whole time. And you didn't like them because they was too light for your flavor. But these motherfuckers was warriors fighting for the liberation of earth, right? You got to remember, when they use this doctrine called white supremacy as a racist doctrine, it's only a caste system. And if you don't get somebody into the upper caste, you can't never get from under the oppression of the upper class. Hey Daniel, who was that festival you sent me earlier? That shit looked like it was cracking. Hey Mandy. So I ain't gonna keep y'all in here too much longer, but when y'all see these motherfuckers um acting like leaders, your motherfucking Jesse Jacksons and your Al Sharptons, them motherfuckers, look, if something happened, it costs $10,000 retainer to get Al Sharpton to come speak at your event. Why in the fuck would you get that perm lace motherfucker to come say anything for you when he don't do shit but talk? Pacify the public in order to keep the motherfuckers in line. When your driver's license expiring, don't renew it. All of the driver's license is that you are a agent of the corporation, a legal fiction doing business on the high seas. That's all it is, your driver's license. Right? So, oh yeah, well that festival looked alive as hell. Look, they've been calling niggas out to keep us calm for 100 years. And we still falling for it. Go out there and calm them angry Negroes down. And you motherfuckers let them come out, sing We Shall Overcome, Kumbaya, my Lord, and all that old shit, and then go home and go to bed like nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Y'all ain't mad no more. But motherfucker, I'm still mad from 1962 and I wasn't even born yet. So my anger didn't never go nowhere. I just had to figure out where to use it and how to motherfucking make it fruitful for my own struggle. Cause ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let these bitch niggas beat me with the same recycled bullshit they beat everybody else with. Yeah, they don't want us to be angry. Motherfucker, we supposed to be angry. What Malcolm say? If you're not an angry black man in America, then you're an insane black man in America. Ain't nothing wrong with being angry. What you gonna do with that shit though? You just gonna be mad and take it out on yourself, or you gonna be mad and take it out on your family? No, fuck that shit. My family ride with me. We all gonna be in this shit together at the end. I'm not taking that shit out because they pissed me off and set up central banks and uh, lied and brought people over here to sign treaties and appointed chiefs. Yeah, that's all part of the motherfucking. Look, what they was telling us in the Bible was the sojourn of Israel in the desert following behind Moses. That was the trail of motherfucking tears over here. Motherfucker, that shit wasn't no happy shit. What was they doing? They was matriculating us out slowly but surely and replacing us with Huns and Mongols and Vedics. The motherfuckers they brought over here in bondage. They was replacing us on the Trail of Tears. All you gotta do is listen to Chief Warhorse. She break that shit all the way down. You just don't know who is who in the picture until we point them out to you because we didn't know they brought motherfuckers to mask of the events of what's taking place on the land. It's like Tupac said, somebody gotta explain why I ain't got shit. Who job is it? The chairman of the board of chiefs. The board of chiefs consists of all of the chiefs across the land. The chairman of the board is the spokesperson. That's Larry Hoover.
and he got to have a witness, and the witness can't be from the Blue Lodge. It got to be from the Red Lodge. That's Chief Malik Angel Bay, aka Jeff Ford. And so we needed one off the West Coast, and Jeff had to send him a witness. So off the West Coast, we got Big Tukey, Blue Lodge, West Coast, and the one that the bishop that Angel Bay sent out there to be a witness to Tukey was named T. Rogers. And T. Rogers, all of the Bloods know who he is. All the OG Bloods know who he is. When you study his history, you find out he left Chicago as a Peace Stone. He went to, because they didn't have structure. The clans was just clans without structure. And we had to have structure and order in how we move so that we can put the families back together. But all the time, we know that we being infiltrated, but there's nothing we can do about it. Because we don't know where the infiltrators is at, because we don't know who's behind it, from which angle are they coming. Now I can flat out tell you, this is Scottish Rite, Red Lodge, Moorish Zionist Temple, who settled in New Jersey. Noble Drew Ali went in and got the secrets out, put them in the public domain. Noble Drew Ali started a civics organization, but somebody turned it into a religious organization so they could push the dogma through the Moorish Science Temple, so that we won't be able to recognize when Charles Mosley Gray drop us the clock of destiny what he talking about. So Taj is having to re-explain all of this shit over and over ad nauseum, translating the same. How many times do he got to tell a motherfucker what the definition of Moor is? But they come in this class week after week for the definition of the same shit. What's the definition of a Moor? What's the definition of the de jure? What's the definition of the de facto? And here he is with his patient ass, love him to death, but he's too patient for me, answering the same question he answered for the last 72 weeks in a row this week. And I had to ask him, how do you keep your composure?
I know you asked him the other day when you're walking. Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. He's telling you this is a contract. These people are de facto. They are frauds. They over here, and you want to know what the word de jure means. You don't want to know how to get out of the condition? You don't want to know how to reclaim your birthright the right way? You want to know what the definition of Negro is in law. Get you a Black's Law Dictionary and look that shit up, and let's get on a mission about cleaning this shit up. Mm. But they asked the man over and over again. He tell him how to navigate the contract. He's telling you the contract coming to a close. It ain't going to last too much longer. He's been saying that the last 10 years. And they keep asking the same question. How long is it going to be for the contract up? He don't know the date. But he know that he can feel, and his research is telling him this shit coming to an end.
Yeah. Let me shift gears a little bit on you just a moment. Where does do we figure into the narrative of us, being star people, that we originally didn't even come from Earth, on this
we created this. This is our creation. This is okay. So this is the star seed, or this is why you got a zodiac sign. Mm-hmm. The zodiac sign tell you what star constellation you from. Those born under Scorpio coming into the physical under the rulership of the star family of the Scorpio constellation. The same with all the rest of them is repeat. When you come in, this because you represent a star. That's why they can't count how many stars it is, because they don't know how many people it was that ever lived. Hmm. And when the energy from the star reaches Earth, it produces in physical form a sentient being that we call a human. Hmm. This is our mental projection of how this creation works. It's the Merkaba in Metatron's cube. Okay. We all is different points in the cube. 1,000 points of light, Bush say. Mm-hmm. That's because he was trying to stop us at 1,000 points of what you call acknowledgement of the science. Just the 1,000-petaled lotus of enlightenment that he's trying to stop.
right? Now, they got to tell us when they making a move, they got to give us 3 knocks. They 5 years apart that they finna try to take over the world and establish a satanic rule on earth. So it got to go click, clack, click. Remember that. World Trade Center, Federal Building, World Trade Center. Click, clack, click. 3
So
knocks.
we're getting up for the click now, right?
No, they already made their move.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. In 91, they bombed the World Trade Center the first time.
Oh,
In 95, they bombed the Federal Building in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, yeah.
In 2001, they bombed the World Trade Center again. Mm-hmm. That's a zigzag.
Oh, because they came back to where they started.
Right.
All right.
The 3 knocks is telling us that the ones call themselves the Illuminati then decided to make their move to take charge of the earth. If you read Behold the Pale Horse, George Bush, with a Senate Select Committee, made himself King George I, and all presidents to follow would be under his direct command. He stayed the president until the day he died. The Clintons, George Bush, and Obama was all placeholders, puppets. That was his team.
Well, I heard that whenever a president came into office, they had to confer with him. They had to get direction from him. They had to go see him.
Because he was King George I of the United States of America. That's what he declared himself.
And then I heard they had to see Kissinger too. So
he's what you call the advisor to the throne. Okay. That's why his old ass been around so long. That motherfucker been in politics so long, motherfuckers ain't lived that long. True. And he always in everybody's business. But don't nobody know why. Who is this motherfucker and where he come from?
I just keep asking why he's still alive.
He's still alive because he's probably
we won't talk about how they stay alive, but we have they have special juices that they keeps them alive. But yeah. So wow. There's so many things going on. There's so many things going on though, and I think what we need to know is what I'd like to ask is what can we do to help the situation with freeing the 3 kings, Larry Hoover, Angel Bay, who is Tookie Williams, right?
Mm-hmm. No, Angel Bay is Jeff Ford.
Jeff Ford, and then Tookie Williams.
Right.
So these 3 kings are in custody, or they're not, or they're somewhere, or are they together?
Well, they Tookie they froze Tookie when they gave him the death penalty. They put him in cryostasis. That's where he had been.
Oh, like the cryogenic stuff we've seen in the. Okay.
Yep. So they thawed him out about maybe 5 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And all of them waiting. We just got to get the message to the grassroots in sufficient enough number that we stop supporting the old system so it could fall. Mm-hmm. Now you're starting to see the rollout as it's falling. It's like a slow building. The building look like it's falling slow till you try to escape from getting under it. Then you realize how fast it's really falling. The faster you run, it seems like the faster the building coming down. That's what it is. It's a slow falling building. It's a high rise. Only this is a system. The system had many, many tentacles, like octopus tentacles or like branches on a spider web. And each part of it had to be destroyed. Right? And as it get destroyed piece by piece, then we start seeing the emergence of our original system rising from the ashes of the old system that just failed. The return of the phoenix. Atlantis rises means Atlantis comes back. The Crystal City, New Jerusalem, the mothership, returns to Earth. They said it sunk. That means it flew away. Misdirection. Everything they tell us is exactly upside down and backwards to the truth. It's a reflection of the truth, just told to us upside down and backwards. That's why they tell you in Revelations,
that Christ came with the New Jerusalem, adorned like a bride for her groom. They're talking about Isis, the return of Isis, the return of the Sweetwater, the queen of heaven and earth, right? And they're saying that the city got the definite measurements because in the book it's saying the one who looked like unto the Son of Man told John, take out the reed and measure. You can't measure it if it ain't in physical form.
Right.
So he measured it. So he knows it's big as hell. And it's coming out the sky and it's going to land on the Emerald Lake in Colorado.
Who's on this?
So the continuity government offices is in Colorado, and the Florence AdMax is in Colorado. And the transition team have to meet at the transition to government location in Colorado as they transition to government. They got a whole pamphlet that the government put out called Continuity of Government under FEMA. Now, we was told FEMA was the acronym for Federal Emergency Management Association.
Right.
But what we wasn't told is that it was also an abbreviation for female. So when we was mad at Hurricane Katrina at the incompetence of FEMA, they was using Hurricane Katrina to learn disaster response in real time without no prep. We got to learn how to take care of our own people in times of disaster and in times of peace. Because even in disaster, if we know how to take care of each other, we won't have to worry about it. We'll still live in peace.
So what you're saying is we've lost the old ways and we've become, acclimated, if you will, and indoctrinated into what they call government. And there has to be a time of getting back, disengaging and disentangling ourselves from that form of government and relearning what we had as a people. And now the continuity of government location in Colorado, is that what's taking place? And if it is, who is actually teaching? I mean, if we don't, it can be them because we already know what their form of government is. Are there like ancients or elders or who's teaching what we ought to know to these three kings?
The three kings already know it. They've been studying government for years. Larry got about 60 degrees from college. Angel Bay, he was doing his job when they snatched him off the land. His job is to physically remove the imposters off the land, not figurative, literally, like whatever it takes, get them off the land. That's his job. That's why he was pursuing things with such remorseless pursuit of determination. Big Mama said, clean my land up. So they neutralized him by putting him in prison. And then they sent infiltrators into the El Rookins in order to undermine the remaining of or what they call the remnant of the structure. They trying to tear it all down. They can't tear it down because they didn't build it. Angel Bay, the only one can tear it down. His soldiers as loyal today as they was when they arrested him 40-something years ago.
So he's been in that long.
Larry's been in there for over 50. And Tukey, they use the same case they used to convict Geronimo Pratt, just change the location from a house to a store. Use the same police to do the same with the same MO. Right? So
with them being at the continuity of government location, does that mean they're no longer in the custody of the of the government, or does it mean that they still are, but they're
okay, so this is what it looked like on paper. On paper, it looked like Tukey dead. It looked like Angel Bay and Jeff Ford is in prison in Colorado AdMax. That's what it looked like on paper. But the continuity of government is falling under the jurisdiction of the Indigenous Rights Act of 2017. They know what's going on and they know what's taking place. They just have to steer the narrative and stay in power as long as they can, because once they over with, they over with. So in the media, they painting the narrative that Trump crazy, that there was no attempt to steal the 2020 election, that Hunter Biden is a victim of Russian disinformation and propaganda, that Hillary Clinton really wasn't Hillary Clinton, right? So they painting all this in the public. Now I got to turn around and start telling you piece by piece that they lied. Because once they entered into the record, the Hunter Biden laptop in the public media, that was the straw that broke the bull's back. That's the one that's going to make all of the dominoes fall. Because it's going to prove that it's not Russian disinformation. They falsely accused Trump of collusion with Russians. Trump went and got the certificate that was held by the World Court from Thailand for our gold so that we can reestablish what we call our family bank system. This is why we didn't have central banks. And what they didn't tell you now, when you watch a Western, you have a little wood hut that's a bank out in the middle of nowhere in a village. That wasn't the bank. The bank was what they called the big house, which was Big Mama House. Big House was short for Big Mama House. And in some parts of the land, it was Big Papa House because he was living longer than Big Mama. Right? So the Big Mama House is where we kept blocks of gold and lots of coal. The black and the gold colors of the Vice Lord Nation is representative of the wealth that comes from Big Mama House. So they told us they stole all of the gold out of Fort Knox. We've been keeping gold in Fort Knox for thousands of years. That's nothing new. They seized Fort Knox when they came over here and took all of the gold to the Far East to hold it in abeyance so we wouldn't reclaim it before the contract expired.
Which we did not.
Right. So when somebody come along and answer the right question, who did it, why they done it, where they came from, and who was involved, that takes the shackles off to the president to recover the gold certificate. The gold certificate is the voucher to reclaim the gold. Right? So I did a video a couple years ago called the $1 Trillion Buyback Program. So the only way to keep everybody from suffering for the next 30 years on the fall of the government is we had to establish a $1 trillion buyback program to buy back. Don't buy stock, buy the stock market. So the royal families of the earth agreed to buy the stock market, the international stock exchange, and all bonds associated therewith. Those names of straw men on those bonds become the heirs to receive the bond payment for which they was originally held as reprisal for a debt. So your social security number is your tracking number that ties you to the amount of money that you can have. And it was being traded on the international stock market using your birth certificate as the savings bond to accrue the interest.
But you have a lot of folks trying to get hold of that. Like you say, is it the SikApe trust account and the red numbers on the back of the Social Security?
They won't be able to access it solo for real, for real. Mm-hmm. They got a system in place to trap the ones trying to access it on their own. It's a trap. They're going to run a bait and switch on them and lock their ass up for fraud if they get too close. That's how they do it.
There are some, though, there are a few out there that claim that they have actually tapped into it. Now, whether that's true or not, or whether or not they've let a few do it just so that it will draw others into that trap.
Well, if you go back to Senate Bill 191 on the bankruptcy, we ain't supposed to pay for nothing. Mm-hmm. So this is when you navigating the contract. If you know how to navigate the contract, it didn't have nothing to do with you. You're not supposed to pay for nothing. But when you took the contract, when you fought for civil rights, that means that you fought to have the contract attributed to you under the civil rules of civil conduct.
And it should not, right?
We ain't got nothing to do with civics. Personally, we are what you call the de jure. We're not de facto. The civics application is supposed to be for the indentures who fall under the de facto jurisdiction of the corporation. In other words, agents of the corporation can be dealt with by the rules and regulations of the corporation.
So when Noble Drew Ali taught civics, was he teaching civics in order to enlighten his people, our people, as to what we needed to know as opposed as it referred to them rather than us to operate under a
Okay,
similar.
so look at the structure of the teaching. Let's take Taj and let's take um trying to think of a different teaching that's different. So Taj teach how to navigate the contract, what the words mean, how do you use this in law. This is the understanding of how civics work. Now remember, Noble Drew Ali said, I can't take these people out of power till you learn how to run your own government. The study of civics is teaching you how they run in their government, and it's supposed to trigger you to remember that this ain't the government of your people. This is not how we run government. Our government, like for instance, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, if it was being properly ran by our people, the first question of any research done is how will it affect the children? That's the first question. If I give this to this mother, how will it affect her children? And any negative effects on that, we can't use that. We can't do that. Well, they have something under the corporation called acceptable loss. It's a way to benefit using insurance to pad your losses, to turn your losses into wins. So what's an apparent loss to them is actually a payout. So they trade birth certificates and death certificates.
Mm-hmm.
They capitalizing off our birth joy and off our death tragedy.
I went to the GMEI utility site and put the Social Security assigned to me number in and the Social Security number assigned to my mother, who transitioned in 2002. And to this day, it was just maybe a few days ago, maybe last week, that birth certificate is still being traded on all over the world. I noticed some of the ones in like Dusseldorf have become inactive. It was funny, but all over the world, I mean, there might be like, maybe it was like either 1,100 or 11,000 transactions, 1,100, that are still active. And she transitioned in 2002. I
Now
have about
remember, somebody in your family, she gonna come back as. The clock of destiny is the way that you track when she coming back and who she gonna be. They already know how to use it. So the death certificate is a countermeasure to the birth certificate. It keeps the birth certificate able to continuously be being traded until it's switched out with the new birth certificate on the return of the elder.
Really?
Yeah, they good with that shit. That's part of their Babylonian money magic system. They generate money out of thin air because we breathe life into the air when we exhale.
So is there money out of thin air? Is that like the mints that are just printing so-called money, like it's monopoly stuff, just new games, new money, new money? Is that how they're doing it?
Right. So that's so that they can steal the value without you ever knowing what they're doing using something called inflation. This is done under what they call fractional reserve banking. Under fractional reserve banking, they can borrow $100 from you, and then they use it for collateral to borrow $100,000 or $1,000,000 off that 100. Right now, because you put $100 in your bank account, they can lend $100,000 out.
And that's why they get a little seem to have they get testy when you want to take it out.
Right, because when you take out your money, they have to cash in a bond.
Okay.
And when they have to cash in the bond, if it isn't matured yet, you know a penalty comes with it. And let's say the mortgage fraud. So all of the banks are going to be seized for mortgage fraud and for usury.
Okay.
Excessive interest on the dollar.
Right.
Right? You're not supposed to charge interest on a direct loan. You're only supposed to charge interest on what they call a third party loan. That means if I have you borrow some money from somebody in order to lend me some money, you have to charge me interest.
Okay.
I'm the third party. That means that
You giving me a fee to use your credit, a cosigner, right? So that's how you're supposed to do interest. But they have the inflation. The inflation is affected by the interest rate. You remember when Greenspan was in the Fed? He used to be over here every year readjusting the interest rate.
Right.
That was saying how much you're gonna be able to buy with a single dollar. You remember when bread was a quarter a loaf?
I remember when it was cheap.
I bet you can't find one for under $1.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you can find one for $1. I don't think, maybe let's try like not one under two.
Right. So that's inflation.
Mhm.
Everything on top of that original quarter is inflation. The
Because if
great
it's a quarter then and it was for the same amount and whatever, it really should still be that.
right.
But what they've
So they
done now, they have reduced the sizes of things and
of galactic law, when you discover an injustice, you report it to the people to determine if they want to remain in the injustice or if they want the justice to prevail over the injustice. So this is why we always have to put it in the public domain, and the paperwork becomes irrelevant. This oral tradition preceding the paperwork tradition. And Noble Drew Ali say, no, for a surety, you are what your forefathers were without a doubt or a contradiction. And Elijah Muhammad say, go back to what your forefathers done. We was an oral tradition, so that means putting it in the public domain is how we made our presence felt among the people. Then, when we discover any anomaly that negatively affects every clan, then we have the obligation to inform as many clans who's willing to listen to the problem that comes with a solution. The solution that I'm telling the people right now is that we have to destroy this old system so that our system can be restored. When our system of matriarchy is restored, cleaning off parts of the land to take care of and reclaim. If the land got to be cleansed, we got to have purity rituals held on the land from the blood spilling and the bloodletting rituals they done all over the land. All of these murders and slaughters that they've done over the years have a negative residual energy that affects us. All of the people don't have to be aware, but the ones who understand it is obligated to explain it to the ones nearest to them in terms they can understand of what's taking place on the land. So my job by default became the person that's running through the communities, telling all of the tribes similarly situated, which happens to be all 500 in North America, and some change, and they all have to agree to overthrow the old system, and then the old system goes away. So the question you asked me earlier about Malachi, he's in continuity of government. He has to be there because he has one of the largest tribes on the land, right? Farrakhan has to be there. They can't not be there. If the government is going to revert back to us, our leadership has to be there, which includes those political prisoners that we mentioned earlier, all have to be there. And this is all taking place in real time. It's just that the people are stuck on this narrative of the old system, trying to hold on to his last few sips of power. So now they cup is empty. I'm about to slap that motherfucker off the table because I want my sisters to get their shit back. Mama said, don't let nobody take nothing from my brothers and sisters. And they got first right to the rights to the earth. So if we gonna fix the problem, you put it everything where it properly go, it'll run the way it's supposed to run, and you don't got to micromanage everything.
Right.
You ain't got to worry about it. Just put the most qualified person to lead the position in the current conditions. I might not be qualified to lead this charge in 10 years because my qualifications might have exhausted themselves by doing certain work. But somebody else gonna come along behind me and say, "This is how we take what you was doing to the next level." Right? So
Right.
we taking it to the next level, and the highest level we can take it is to the grand matriarch in order to restore balance to the land. And we all know who that is because I
And
done
I
told you.
like what you said. I like what you're saying, Rob, because you're not saying that you are the end, the be all, and the end all. But for this season, you are doing the work that you've been assigned. For me, for this season,
Yeah,
I'm doing the work that I'm assigned. And just like you said about Grand Sheik, we get to a place where we need to be able to get to a place where, as we become elders, that we can relax from that because there are a younger a crew coming in that should be preparing themselves to take a leadership role and to let the elders be revered and let the younger then to me do the heavy lifting. I'm hoping that somebody will come and take over. I do so much when it comes to the House of Reawakening Minds from the standpoint of the day to day is me. It's the calls, it's the creating of this, it's the can do it. I mean, Grand Sheik and I basically work together, but he does what he does when he comes here and talks, and he does work if work needs to be done in the building. But when it comes to the mechanics of things, this is no huge organization, but it's a huge responsibility to a very broad spectrum of people. So it has to be done with, some level of professionalism and precision, even though we have these, technical things. These are things that we got to, get beyond. But we take seriously the work. We take seriously the fact that we've been put in this position for this time to be a connector, knowing that somebody else is going to come along and pick up the baton at some point, and they need, and it needs to be a smooth transition. That's what we need to be doing,
yeah.
preparing those to come up and take the baton.
So when people will be asking me, how can I um, not promote myself as higher based on my knowledge? I learned from Chancellor Williams that he gonna always be a greater teacher than me because he taught me. So the greater I become, the greater that make him. I taught from Taj, right? So the greater I become in the application of civics is a testimony of the greatness of Taj. I
Absolutely.
can't never overshadow them. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants who stood on the shoulders of giants. I'm just a midget that could see the furthest. That's how I see it. So
Yeah.
all of them that did the work before me laid the foundation for my work to be able to be functional and usable. Because I'm not usable if I don't have something to use. And anything that don't have something to use and that's not usable is open to be misused. And that's why they don't like to conjure me up.
Mm. Well, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. We're glad they did. Many of us are. Like I said, love you or hate you. It doesn't matter. You came here to do a job, and you're doing it. And whether whether have folks, whether you smoke a cigarette or whatever else you smoke, whatever, or you curse or say words that are whatever they feel like it might be cuss. You're not cursing. Cuss words. Um, that's your mannerism. I
And that's part of rebellion.
Okay.
Because like I said, being politically correct and the politics are not correct is being insane. So to use the profanity, to be cussing, is to be belligerent to the improper politics being imposed on our people.
I get
So any politician that I don't hear say motherfucker, I ain't trying to hear it.
it.
He can't be politically correct and be about what's right. It's incompatible in this system because the politics is not correct. Because there's
Right.
too many people suffering and struggling trying to get a better day from a sour lemon that's they don't have enough sugar to make lemonade with. Because somebody stole their sugar that they had the first right to before they even seen it. So now they can't even make sugar out of the lemon. I mean, lemonade out of the lemons. So now they just got some squeezed lemon water.
Right. And there's some things, even I'm sure I know like there's things I know, Grand Sheik, we know that we are not at liberty to speak freely, in these venues like this. And that's another reason, and that's a good segue. That's another reason why up close and personal we'll call up close and personal, because that's when we get to, no cameras and I'm sure there are folks that sneak and put their little recorder on to hear things, but no cameras, and we're able to speak freely on the things that need to be conveyed, so that we use the oral tradition again and start. Once you learn something, if it resonates with you, then you take it, and when you get home you share it, and let somebody else, so we can pass that knowledge on. So for those of you who want to come and see myself, Grand Chic, Brother Dave, Mother Kai, Dr. Britannica, other folks, and there are other folks. 3 days, 3 whole days of coming together. The third day is a holistic wellness fair, and we're going to be raffling up like $4,000 worth of wonderful matronite merchandise. The biggest raffle prize is a $2,000 2,000 note, whatever, BioCrystal Sleep M queen size mattress topper, which is amazing, and some other sleep in products and other, we have a bunch of stuff, but that's the biggest of it. Somebody's going to win it, whether they're here or not. That's the wonderful thing. We will actually, if you can't come, we just have straight up 25 note donations for our fundraiser raffle ticket, and you get a chance to win. And if you in California, we'll ship it to you. We'll still ship you the queen size mattress topper if you're not here. Or if you win and you're here and you came on a plane, we'll still ship it. You know what I mean? So we want you to come out and be with us on that weekend. We're going to have a wonderful time. Some
What's the
holistic.
dates again, Dr.?
August 26th, 27th, 28th.
Okay.
26th,
7 days
27th.
after my father's birthday. My father's birthday the 21st.
Ah, okay.
So it's 7
Yeah.
days to the day after my father's birthday. But
21st.
this is the thing that we need to be looking for coming up, because it's
Wilmington, Delaware. For somebody asked what part of Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware. I'm gonna put the thing up. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron.
So while you do that, put the address and stuff up for the people.
Oh, you
The
can. Yeah, you talk, and I'll just put this up, and they can just
Yeah.
see the banner.
So what we need to be looking for to transpire, because we on the verge of a total economic collapse in what we call the Americas. The
Hmm.
economy is on its like final leg. Also, we need to be looking for public exposure of the election fraud being revealed with hardcore, irrefutable evidence. That all got to come out. All of
Hmm.
that's going to lead up to the restoration of the matriarchy and reorganizing of the matriarchs across the land in order to properly administer government. Because we know how to do this now. So Noble Ali did his job. He gave Taj his mission. He done his job. C. Freeman Hill done his job metaphysically. Um, Charles Mosley Bay gave us this clock of destiny to look at. So they all doing a part. So one of us from the land got to tie all of the pieces together across the red and the blue in order to get to Big Mama house on the black and gold, which is the coals for the furnace that we used to use to burn in her living room, and the
Hmm.
gold which we used to do trade among the tribes. So we getting back to the wealth of the land, which is the substance, and not the debt of the land, which is the slave system, right? So these things are imminent. They coming. I don't know what's going to be the straw or the grand exposure of it, but you have to see it coming, because all of the indicators is saying that it can happen any day. Then
Yeah.
Trump gave a whole lecture on the election steal the night that I left to go perform my functions for Big Mama, which was oddly timed enough to get my attention. And he was talking about there is no way that the American people are going to continuously be subjugated by these frauds. So that's where we at with it. That's what's coming.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not. You're still there. I got one. The banner that's running now is kind of like big. It's showing my
Mm,
thing. It's showing that state stuff that I was showing the Numi of the
mm.
nanostatic glutathione and the stuff that I spray on my face. That's making me look a little bit younger for 67.
You know what the irony of this picture is it's got a lot of simple. I read every picture like a tarot card.
Okay. So what
And
you said?
the before no makeup picture,
Uh-huh.
right? I can't see the full hand symbols, but it looked like your hands are crossed.
I think it's kind of up to
No,
my
no, no.
throat.
That's your left
Oh,
hand. That's your hand on your breast.
right.
right? And
Uh-huh.
then, so this is the secrets out in the open. That's the same as with Noble Ali telling us he put the secrets in the public domain. And then the after, the 40 days later, have you smiling in the gold, and black and gold is Big Mama house. But the background is blue. That means the blue house. So you was already preloaded to give the report at the right time so the people can know it. And Numi, I gotta find out about that. So I'm gonna be looking into that because the Numi is a homonym for the new me. And
The
you
new
looking
me.
at, yeah. So the old me versus the new me. That's the
Yeah,
transformation message from Big Mama. The old earth becomes the new earth.
absolutely. Well, let me take that off. Well, I oops. I'm like I said, I have to figure out all the things I'm doing, you know. But yeah, so it's just wonderful, to be unmade. I used to I would not dream of coming on camera without some makeup to cover little spots and some eyeshadow and some mascara and lipstick and cheek. I was like, nah. I'm learning to love the skin I'm in, and it's helping me, clear it up and you know be happy with who I am. You know what I mean? This is me.
Yeah,
This is
that's what facilitates the glow too.
yes. And so you guys can have the same thing. Of course, in between that and chokeberry and sleep am and all of that stuff, we got a little bit of we got mattresses with 16 crystals and gold and silver in them that people can sleep on and get well. Chokeberry that they can take, nanos, particles they can put in there. I mean, every time I find something that is holistic and works for me. It's got to work for me first. I can't just give it to you and I don't know whether it works for me. At least I can say it works for me. Because if it doesn't work for me, then it 9 times out of 10 it may not work for you either. So we try to bring that stuff to you. But anyway, it has been real awesome, amazing, and I'm sure that those who there were questions that folks. I do apologize, y'all. We wanted this to be mainly about talking about our brother Rod and his background, and I know y'all have a lot of questions, and we'll get you back. We'll get I have another show I call, and I haven't done it for over a year, Brother Rod, called Open Circle Gathering. And that open circle gathering is a place, and I may even just do it on Zoom this time, maybe so that folks can literally come on and ask questions and so forth. We can do like 100 people on it. But open circle gathering is to talk about so-called spiritual stuff and so-called freedom from dogma and things. And I know you said if that's what they want, if that's fine. But if you're trying to get out of the matrix, that's where the open circle gathering comes in. So folks can be free to talk about their journey. And there's other when you were talking about just what you saw. I saw in the chat where other folks were saying, no, people didn't believe me when I had XYZ experience. We want folks to be comfortable in whatever experience they have. That's one of the goals of House of Reawakening Minds. It's dedicated to the practice of spirituality, what we call an enlightened community that's dedicated to honor the myriad of sacred pathways to the universal creator. We know that there's not one road. We know that there's many roads, and we'll meet up at the place that we're supposed to, but you need to be free to be able to exercise your spiritual self or your whatever you want to call it, your pathway, and not be persecuted for it because it's not the way the person next to you is doing it.
Yeah. And the part is you gotta always remember when you judging somebody else, the same standard apply to self.
Right.
Most people don't want to hold themselves accountable for what they condemn other people for. And when you see people fall, and they might not be did the dirt they're accused of. Everybody not guilty.
Right.
It's an orchestrated plan to keep us from reclaiming the land and evicting the imposters. Is one.
Right. Right.
And the second thing is, I'm not part of the spiritual community or the conscious community because the people in the spiritual community are spiritually dead, and the people in the conscious community is diet woke. I'm part of the tribal community of families that's coming together as a family confederacy across the land that just want to live in peace and harmony and happily
The
ever
way they
after.
want to, right?
Right. Without the restrictions of artificial legal fiction imposing a heartless regime on the people. That's
Yeah.
all. I'm not trying to do no. I'm not trying to be greedy and consume the world for myself. What I'm gonna do with all of it? I can't do nothing but give it to the people anyway.
After a while, stuff becomes just it's stuff. And and I'm gonna say this, and I know we're gonna go. But one of the things I realized, there was a scripture that says, or if it's not a scripture, it's at least a quote. Folks will say, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh." But when you think in terms of who the Lord is, I think now in terms of the system that has plied us with so many things that were unnatural to our natural wants and desires and environment. And now that they've given us all these things, technology and fancy this and that and the other, now they're trying to snatch it away from us. Give and take it. But if we had stayed in our natural, habitat, whatever, this stuff would have never affected us because we wouldn't have gotten, just like a child, if you never give a child candy, they'll never even desire it because they've never had it. But once you say, oh, well, everybody else has got Halloween candy, you can't go trick or treating, but here's a bag of candy. Next thing you know, now you've addicted your child to one of the worst things that's around, sugar. And you know what I'm saying? They would have never had it
Sugar
had you
not is
not. Well,
sugar not is sugar not as bad for you as people believe.
well, it's not good, but it's
But
not good.
it's not the sugar. It's the bleaching agent in the sugar and the flour.
Well, versus natural. Now you're right. There's not the sugar, the granule, the refined process, the way they
Yep.
bleach it.
So
No, no, no. You're right. It's not good at all.
they
Not good at
use
all.
they deliberately use toxins to cause side effects by the consumption of those mass-produced products. They know the bleaching agent in the sugar and the flour is toxic to the human.
Well,
So
cane
the
sugar
question is,
is
why
good.
do they keep putting it in there?
Right, not because they're trying to do what it is they're doing, but cane sugar. And another thing that even though it sounds like it's not, like it may be some chemical, it's not. Xylitol is a real good substitute. It's a sweetener that's not aspartame or anything like that. It's a natural sweetener that will do the same thing and not give you the issue that you would get by consuming sugar. So definitely, please, if you drink, using stuff like the pink packets and stuff like that, stop,
That's
stop. We
you might as
pink
well you might as well use sugar if you use them pink packets.
well, you might as well eat poison if you
That's what you're doing. You eat rat poison.
rat poison. Yes, right. So
Saccharin in the sweet and low. Saccharin.
yeah,
Saccharin is
I was
used as
trying
an
not to give
oxidant.
their name out. I'm just saying pink packets and stuff. But yeah, you're really doing yourself a disservice. But hey, listen, thank you. Love you. You my brother from another mother. Both our mamas is looking at us from wherever they are and saying, "Way to go! Look, that's my son." My mom's going, "That's my baby. That's my only baby." So anyway, this has been really wonderful, um, eye opening, enlightening, and all of that stuff. So I appreciate you. Um, I really do. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your candor and your honesty, and really, sharing, your story, I know your journey. It's not a story. Your journey with us, and I hope for those some of those that this has put a totally different light and a perspective on who you are, and that they will stop looking at you, look beyond that, and listen to you and what your assignment is. Are you doing? Are you fulfilling your assignment? And the last thing is, I've been getting calls from a few folks about men, brothers called me last week. They were trying to get in touch with you about some training they must have heard on one of your videos for the sisters. And then I got a call about whether or not the sisters didn't what they did on July 4th. I was like, I don't know. I said, well, I don't do anything. I'm retired, so I didn't do anything different because I don't go punch a clock anywhere. So I didn't know. But they wanted to know about some training for the matriarchy that might have been mentioned on one of your other videos, and I couldn't, give them.
It's several training topics that I mentioned. One of them was the training of the doulas at the doula center that's going to open up after we reclaim the land. The other one is the rites of passage program for the youth. That training has to be done to revamp the education or the miseducation system into a proper education system. And the other training is what's being done by the women at the MGT GCC, which is General Civilization Courses, which teaches the women how to be functional in the home and to understand a lot of the mechanics of running a family and being the woman of the house that wasn't being taught before in the in this type of setting until the Nation of Islam was set up after the fall. They was doing it in the Moorish Women's Consulate, and they was doing it in the
Yeah, because I have a
UNI.
book. I have a
Right,
book, a red book
right.
that
And they
yeah.
got they were doing it also in the UNIA nurse brigade under Garvey, and all of those programs were stumped out by the government, like the breakfast programs of the Black Panthers, and the educational programs of the Peace Stones, the community organization and efforts of the growth and development, and the Vice Lords. All of them was squashed out by the government, and then they villainized the people that put those programs together to remove them from our community. So there's a whole lot of training, and it's also um, a lot of what we call $5 Indians on reservations have certain spiritual practices that they were to hold in secret until we reclaim the land, and now they have to give it all back.
So these classes are not actually going on yet, but these are things that need to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the women should attend the beginners classes, the MGT, GCC, and they can start there now. They active, and some of the
What
it's a
about the
couple.
sisters that are not necessarily, they're not in the Nation of Islam? I mean,
You don't have to be in the nation to attend the beginners class. That's the first thing. The next thing is also there is a functional Moorish women's consulate in New York, and I think DC is where they was at, where they was headquartered at. But they know the old teachings of the Moorish women's consulate from the days of Noble Jew Ali, and they've also took steps to update it. Right. So there's women's groups. Like there's a sister in New York that does a goddess glow up, which teaches the women about harnessing their personal power and being a beacon of light wherever they go. So all of these is in all of these places can be found, but people got biases that they have to overcome to get
right.
the information. I had biases I had to overcome too.
Right. Well, if you have any information that you can share with me offline with like how I can get in touch and pull some of these things together. Let me see. Latanya said, "I'm okay." Here's okay. Wait a minute. This is something. I'm former MGT and can support this training for those who don't want to join the nation. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is my
So
sister.
so what you do with her is you get her information,
I have
and
her information. I know who
and
she is.
you can funnel the women. They can contact you as a connector,
Okay.
and y'all can just start setting it up because she already knows what to do. She's already
Yeah, she was
trained.
high up in there. She was high ranking in there. So yeah,
Hmm.
okay, I'll do that. Thank you, sister. I'll reach out to her. I know who she is.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Dr. Z, for having me.
Thank you for coming on as usual. This has been great.
All
All
right.
right, we
Blessings
leaving.
to reawaken minds, to reawaken the minds. And it was a pleasure talking to the people.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All
All
righty,
right, Dr. G. I'll talk to you later.
all righty. Bye bye. Okay.
Are nomads, and all nomads to us over here fall under the jurisdiction of Hell's Angels if they ride the steel horse.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, they got their colors.
Mm-hmm.
So the European FBI agents was starting wars between Mongols and Hell's Angels.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is an actual biker club.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
All
I
right.
love watching them
It's
bike
it's
club.
a reason they in here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let's go to the next picture.
Look at the dress in the way that they dress at home. That's not too much different than how we used to dress, except we wore feathers. Right? Look at the facial features. Blow it up a little closer so they can see what the faces look like. You can get a general idea, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next picture. You got to understand where these people come from if you want to know who's who on the planet Earth. This is, I think this is one of the kinds right here. But you see, he got the arrows on his back. Now look at the symbol on his shield.
Okay.
Right, that's called the trickery. Why is that on there?
Yeah, why is it?
Right, that represents the three sisters.
Okay.
Right, and when you see them over there, they was called wind riders on horseback.
Okay.
And they was called it. They was saying they on horseback. They were as swift as the wind.
Okay.
Right, so they were some of the best horse riders. Today they bikers.
Okay.
Right, they traded in the four-legged horse for a steel horse. All right, now pay attention to these little tidbits because they come back in the turnaround when we get back over here. Go to the next picture. Now this is a good one because this is showing a battle taking place between the Romans on the right and the Mongols on the left. And you see they shooting bow and arrows at their ass. Right? Now, ain't no guns yet.
Okay.
So the Romans is at a distinct advantage because those bow and arrows is like they come into a gunfight with a knife. Right? Now look at that symbol on that shield.
Yep, that's like the Knights of Templar symbol.
Only the color is different.
Yeah, it's black.
Why is okay? So the color means something. Okay, go to the next picture. We ain't gonna deal with all of this right now because it's too much stuff. Now this shows you the extent of the Huns Empire. The yellow was the Roman Empire, and the gold was the Empire of Attila the Hun. You see the comparative size analysis, right? So the Huns was taking slaves from Rome because Rome was taking slaves from the Huns.
Okay.
Right? So what would they do is they would have a trade in order to trade back the slaves. They had a trading program for the servants to be brought back home. Okay. That don't exist now. We just automatically save slaves under modern Rome.
Okay.
Okay, now we needed to see this because you see where it say East Roman Empire?
Yeah.
And then right to the right of that it say Asia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This was the Turkish Empire, Ottomans. We're going back into Turkey, going back to Asia in the direction of Asia off East Roman Empire.
Okay.
Right. Then we cross in the Black Sea on the right, and I think that's the Mediterranean on the left into the Iberian Peninsula, and you see the Buddha, Italy. Right. And then you got your Western Roman Empire. But when you look to the North Atlantic in the north, where it say British Isles, notice that Ireland and Scotland is grayed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because at that time they hadn't been conquered yet.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the next picture. This is a Hun, not a Mongol.
Okay.
But you see how her face looks? You see how her face look?
Yeah.
See if you blow her up big enough to see her face. Close. You got a good idea though.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to the next picture. This is a Hun on horseback shooting bow and arrow.
Okay.
Right? Remember long range of time told the Indians riding around shooting bow and arrows off of horseback?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. All this gonna come back in a minute. We're gonna come full circle with this shit.
Okay.
Look, see him shooting the Roman soldier down with the bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Right? Let's go to the next one. Now, this is the Huns. Now we finna get into who the Huns really is. Now remember, we got different alien groups came to give a drop of blood for a genetic spill.
Yeah.
Look at these head shapes. Remember the cone heads? Remember
Yep.
Bob I talking about?
Yeah, I got pictures of them in here for you.
Yep. Okay, so if you look at them, see that the second lady? You can blow it up, you can see the geography of where they from. See, 5 the time frames. Right? So you got the woman in Italy, wait a minute, Burgundy lady of Lyon, 1200 AD, the woman in Alsace, 500 AD. Then you got the Goth, 200 BC. You got the East German from the Roman era. You got to look at these facial. Now, when you studying the skulls of peoples around the world, the science is called phrenology. All right. Now you look at the shape of their skull. Now remember, Baba told us that in Shambhala, there are a group of extraterrestrials called Teros that live there. But these is the ones they gave a drop of blood to on the physical earth. Right. Pull that last picture up down there at the bottom.
Oh, I got you here. I got other pictures of them too if you want to put them.
This good right here. Now this is one of the ones that Baba had the artist draw. You see the shape of the head, the pointy ears. Think of Dr. Spock, Vulcans, right?
The Vulcans, yeah.
Right, but these are Teros. But they closely related to the Vulcans by planetary geography. Right, so they within the same or similar star system, and the seeding of their planets was by similar means. Now remember, it said that one of these Teros had a baby with a Danakiel and produced the big head scientist. And not only did they produce him, he had 2 whole brains in his head. Right? What do that mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a metaphor. Fully evolved left brain, fully evolved right brain. Right? They call you a big head, a muscle head, a brainiac.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when we get to these people, right, we got to understand that these is the sources of $5 Indians.
Okay.
Now, let's go in. Did you get any of those files? Because it said they was unsent. I had sent you some documents.
That was all I got from you so far, right there.
Okay, look, do this.
Okay.
Pull up my Facebook page.
All right. Let's see if I can find it. Is it under Rod Hayes?
Yep. I should have just sent you the link right quick in the.
Let me see how can I. Now I can pull up your Instagram because I got the link up on it. But send me the link for the.
Hold on.
Yeah, send me the link for your Facebook real quick.
I'm just gonna send you the post.
Okay.
I did this so that.
Yeah, send me the post. I can slide it from the computer from my phone to the computer.
Yeah. The reason why I made this post is because I figured this was gonna happen. So I was trying. It's 2 posts. This is the first one I'm about to send you now. Okay, that's the first one, and then I'm gonna send you the second one because the second one gonna have some other good information in it.
Let's see, can I get the picture? Hey, Rob, by if you come into the building, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you want to show your brother Rod Hayes some love. Hey, which post is it? Because you got a whole bunch of them on here.
I just sent you the link directly to a post.
All right, you got about 75 pictures on that one post.
Right, but you got to go to the beginning of the post.
All right, hold on. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up on the computer. Let me save the link. That's what I'm gonna do. I want to save the link and get it hooked up for you. Okay, copy it. Boom. Hold on just a second.
I don't know why I should have had you log into Facebook earlier too, so you already been logged in.
Yeah, but I would have had that set up too, so we just go right to it. It's all good though. We rolling. Everybody, we got like about 500 people almost in this joint. So we lit. We live.
Okay, so while you looking for that, a background on what you about to pull up. This is telling us about the creation of the Dawes Roll Indians. The Dawes Roll Indians is what we call $5 Indians.
Mm-hmm.
The position that I'm making today is that these was the slaves that the conquistadors brought with them when they got kicked out of Europe to be of service to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Huns and the Mongols were the two of the main groups they was warring with, but they was also warring with the Vedics, or the Hindus as we call them now. So we're gonna go over the Andrew Jackson and the Dawes Roll. Who is the Dawes Roll named after? All that's what we about to go over next. Because if you don't know who these $5 Indians is, you can't tell these motherfuckers they ain't you, because they running around masquerading like they us, getting belligerent because they don't want us telling people who the fuck we is. And then you got the ones that came over here and found out that they was lied to about us, took sides with us, and they kept our secrets sacred for the final and the closing of the age, which is now. And you can tell the difference by their perception and reception of us as a collective of organic people to this land. The $5 Indians who had their loyalties to the Scottish Rite 32-degree Albert Pike, tracing all the way back to Enlil. Them motherfuckers can kiss ass. Now, you still there, Elder? So what we doing now is we going through how they got here and how they used the $5 Indian thing in order to register our replacements. Your God, what in the hell is you doing?
I'm lining you up right now.
Oh, got you. Read what it say. They think that they can legislate us out of history, murder us out of history, and paper genocide us out of history. They think they can motherfucking tell us anything they want us to believe, and we just supposed to fall for that shit. Trick no good.
So they want to play them games, man. Like it's I got the link right there. Man, what the hell, bro? That shit just froze. Hold on, let me try it one more time. I got the link saved up in there so I can go straight to it, to the on the video. You there? Or did it cut out? Okay. Man, they playing games right now.
What you going through YouTube?
Yeah, I got the link. Like the link you just sent me, I saved it on YouTube on the video, so I can just click right on it, and then everybody else to click on it.
Oh, okay. I see what you was doing.
Yeah.
Then they can click on there too, and they can see what we're reading closer.
Yeah. So that way it'll be already in the link when they the receipts or whatever. So I got it right here. So you go right here, just click right there. Boom. And it should load up. This what I'm saying. Okay, all right now.
Okay, read that. See where that's supposed.
It says $5 ass about to be made change on the young girl. Damn, I didn't even know you did that, and I had put that the Nino Brown thing on the cover. I didn't even know you did that. I didn't know you, man. That's crazy. Yeah, that's how you know it's connected, man. I put the Nino Brown, I put the $5 thing on the damn screen thing, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, now do this. Click the first picture.
Okay, all right, let's see it, man. See if it load up. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. See, it's stuck right here on this screen. Load. You know what? I might have to log in to get in and to make it go. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see.
You might not want to put your password. Oh, it'll black it out.
Yeah, it'll be like I'm trying to think. But I got so many pages. Just use one that everybody. I'm trying to think of one that I got. That I can open. Let's try this one. I think it's TV. Man, they tried to block us like Matumbo. I had to cross them over.
Hey, look, I sent you these files that I put on these posts, and it kept saying won't send, or it failed to send, and I kept pushing resend, and it wouldn't take them.
Yeah, so it's like it's probably got. You can email them to me though. Come on, baby. Work. Damn, man. I ain't got time to do all this shit. Shit, why won't let me click on it? I thought I was already logged into a Facebook account.
Push where it say log in.
Hold on, let me try this one then. I don't know, bro. Yeah, it ain't even let me log in. It's just freezing it. They got something going on with your Facebook, but nigga, they don't want nobody looking at this shit.
Man, I've been in Facebook jail for about 6 months, and
you just go right to it.
Anybody else probably would have.
Let's see, man. I think I'm trying to do them. Oh yeah, hold up. Let me think of an email address that I got. Oh yeah, that's what I got. I can use that one. This one. Oh, okay, it might be. Damn, bro. That's crazy. 1, 2, 3. Man, that's crazy. That's the right password there.
Hey, go to open your email up.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy right there. That's
if you got your Facebook account on your email, you can go in through your email to your Facebook.
All right. Okay, yeah, okay, Mike James. Yeah, I don't want to open my email up because it's some shit up in there, top secret files up in there. Yeah, the email is I can't open it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like shit up in there that trying to think of man, I got it. Hold up, I got it, man. It's just they fucking playing games with their password. Look, I know it's the password, but
did you see as soon as you put that email in there, password went in automatic?
Yeah. There you go. Oh yeah, Mike James, baby.
Mike James, similar to Mike Jones, except we're taking these motherfuckers to knowledge instead of home. Just talking a little trash in the meantime while we waiting on this access.
Ask me for a damn password. What the fuck?
They're gonna send it to you on your phone.
Okay, I got it. There we go, right there, baby. Let's do it. Mike James. Mike James. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Skip.
Nancy gonna let me pull up your shit. Hold up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's try it now, man. Logged in. See what these niggas gonna say. All right, let's try it now. Oh, there we go. We in, baby. Young Gilda cracking the game.
Well, since we talking about this lizard, since she popped up,
yeah.
Look, it's some shit going on with this.
Go ahead. Spill the tea.
Look, it's 17 days of mourning for the queen. It's normally 10 days for royalty, right? I was talking to my London connect, and she said there's normally only 10 days. She got 17. You know what I told her?
What?
That's funny because exactly 17 months ago, her so-called husband died.
Damn.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Then my man came with the 140 flip on her birthday, 140 days later. 140 days. So it's a whole lot of shit. But the bottom line is this. The queen been dead since the crest got knocked off Buckingham Palace a year and a half, 2 years ago. They decided to wait till September the 8th of 2020 to announce it because it means something. Now, I posted a lady on my Facebook earlier talking about a Nostradamus prediction. And they said that the people would reject him from being king. He gave all this information on her death. Right? Now, this was the protocol London Bridge is down for when she did. Now, the part I want you to notice is how many days of mourning do it say on here?
Days of mourning. Can I pull it?
Just scroll down on that picture.
Okay, here, go here. There are 12 days of mourning.
So they added 5 days. Right? The moment she passed, Charles becomes king. A note was penned to Buckingham Palace announcing the news. Oh, really? The phrase to communicate her passing was London Bridges is down. And from my understanding, that ain't what they've been saying. You know what they've been saying?
What?
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Straight off of the Wizard of Oz.
Damn.
Now look, it's only a few days left before the Roman Catholic Church call in all their holdings. So imagine you're in Las Vegas at the biggest casino there. All of a sudden you hear over the PA, everybody that's gonna cash out, cash out. Why would the casino do that?
Why?
They have to be closing. So they calling in all of the poker chips. Right? But let's get on back to the topic, to the $5 Indians. And let's see what this Dawes Roll thing is about. You got to go the other way. Casablanca. Last name Kabila. Kabilah. He was a head of state in Africa.
Assassinated.
When this was the first head of state to die, when the moratorium
by executive order restricting the assassination of heads of state. Laurent Kabila, he the bald head dude down there with the green shirt on. Yep, him where you was pointing at. That's him. Now, the reason why he was a problem because he put the stranglehold on the De Beers Corporation's holdings over there in Africa. When he did that, he was a marked man.
Yeah.
And they used the Manchurian candidate that they had as a sleeper assassin to kill him. I think it was his nephew.
All right, go ahead. You going in, man. You telling me some you cracking fucking the form. You going into their form, the shit they talk about on the form.
Yeah. Okay, now the reason why this is a big deal is because the CIA hypno assassin program through MK Ultra. And he was on their list of heads of state to be neutralized in Africa. Right? The same thing, America assassinated another head of state in Africa named Patrice Lumumba. You want to pull him up so the people can see?
Yeah, it's ready right here. It's a Freemason. What his name is?
Patrice Lumumba. Patrice. Last name Lumumba.
You guys right here.
Yep, the guy with the glasses on. That's him.
It's great pimp shit.
You see that leopard print hat, right?
Yeah.
The tribal priest.
Okay.
This is Africa's Malcolm X right here.
Go ahead.
This is one badass motherfucker. But let me tell you what they do to this brother.
Yeah.
Right? They take Patrice Lumumba out in the woods, assassinating and bury him, right? You see the picture that he's pointing at the screen?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. They went and dug him up. And the French general that dug him up, he said he was terrified because he raised his finger like that, as if he was giving his troops one last command.
Damn.
Now, when I was growing up, what made him so memorable to me is he looked exactly like my Uncle Jake. And my Uncle Jake wasn't for no games. He'd beat a motherfucker ass.
You look like a dude.
All right, now, when they killed him, they also had America wasn't behind the murder of Stephen Biko. Pull him up so they can see. These people we need to know about. When they're talking about Pan-African studies, this is the kind of stuff they're talking about because it all ties back. They killed him. This was South Africa's Malcolm X. Bad man right here. Went for no games. He the one that told Mandela he better strap up. And after they killed him, that's when they captured Mandela. And because Mandela was on his way to Kenya to meet with somebody called the Kikuyu tribe. Now, the Kikuyu tribe is known for their Mau Mau. Pull Mau Mau up next. M-A-U, 2 words. Put Kenya behind. You see that brother standing right behind Jomo Kenyatta on the last picture at the top?
Right here?
Yeah, click that picture.
All right.
He was the field general. I always forget his name. This is the guy that Jomo Kenyatta sold out when he gave his position away to the invaders. You see, with his dreadlocks?
Yeah, dude with the Willow's Peak.
He was the leader of the Mau Mau rebellion against
That nigga
the
look just like them
invasion of
dirty
Africa.
boys.
Nah, he wasn't no Dirty Moore. The Dirty Moore is the nigga standing on there with the kufi on.
Oh, this nigga right here.
That nigga. That's Jomo Kenyatta. He became the head of Kenya.
Okay.
He sold out the resistance. The guy standing next to him put Jomo Kenyatta in power, and he was the leader of the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jomo Kenyatta got in power, he made deals with the Europeans to end the conflict. And part of the deal was that he would give them the position of the stronghold of the Mau Mau.
Oh, hell no. We ain't going out like that.
Now, scroll down a little bit. It's a book on the Mau Mau, so they can see what book to read about the Mau Mau rebellion.
You see it?
It's another one that was next to it, too. Okay, so now the Mau Mau, right? That was in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Keep that in mind. Kenya is the land of Anpu.
Okay, go ahead.
You know who Anpu is, right?